Okay. I'm going to guess that's where those other creatures are. Oh, and the hunting log. I forgot to even talk about that. Hunting log, and I'll show you that in just a bit. But the hunting log is a list of enemies of various levels. It'll say, like, kill 5 of these bears. And kill 6 of these wildcats. Now, when you do that... Actually, this is where I was before, I think. And once you do that, you get XP. And I think money. And if you do all the ones in your hunting log, you get a big bonus. But your hunting log you'll get like additional entries as you level up. It's pretty neat. I like the hunting log aspect. I'm trying to think if I should do this. Yeah, let's go ahead and I guess finish this up. I can come back later. Ah, okay. Notice how these Warfrats now have this weird kind of bullseye looking icon. That means they're in my hunting log. So I will go ahead and kill them. Now you also have skills which are in a combo. So notice how when I use my skill number 1, this skill number 2 gets a yellow dashed box around it. That means it's part of a combo and it's ready to go. Now I don't have to use it in the combo. You can use it wherever you want. But if you use it in the combo, then you get like additional damage. Hold on, I'm gonna ignore this idiot. Wait, what? How is ignore like not one of the very first? Wow. Really? So, when I click on someone's name, by the way, whenever you click on someone's name, ignore should always be an option. Holy shit. Come on, guys. You've had how many years to get this shit straight? By the way, another thing. I know I keep saying by the way. Notice how I kept attacking, or I started attacking that mob after that person started attacking it. I will still get XP. I don't know if you get hunting log credit or quest credit, but you at least get XP credit if you do a... I don't know what the percentage is, but if you do a certain amount of damage, you will get some of the XP at least. I think you get quest credit as well. Don't quote me on that. So let's look at the hunting log. So we have to kill 3 ladybugs, 3 Warfrats. I'm actually not going to go through all these. But I will definitely be doing the hunting log because it gives a nice bit of money and XP if you do them. So there's other ladybugs around here. So let's be the vicious marauder that we are and kill some ladybugs. Yeah, look at that. Weirdo. One thing about Asian... Oh, there's a fate too. Okay, fates. What's a fate? Fate is like a public quest from Warhammer. Yeah, you're gonna probably regret that. Unless you're... No, I think he's higher level. A flock of sheep bitten by diseased bats is grown frenzied and is charging at full speed towards Zephyr Gate. The affected creatures cannot be allowed to enter the city. Blah, blah, blah. I attacked it. I might get some. Okay, so here's the Lost Lamb. Again, this is like public quest if you've ever done those in Warhammer or Guild Wars 2. Basically, they pop up from time to time. And they're also like rifts and rifts, I think. But they pop up from time to time. And most of the time it's, you know, oh, these special creatures have spawned. Murder them. And depending on how much you contribute to the fate, you'll get rewards. It's pretty easy, I found, to get gold. Unless you just happen to get in at the very end. Or if you just don't do anything. But for the most part, it's pretty easy to get gold. And of course, whatever your reward is based on your contribution level. And the reward is, as far as I can tell, always money and gold. And they are definitely worth doing. One thing I like to do is if I have a class that's around the level of the fate, because the fates have levels. If I have a class that's around that level and I'm just happening running through on a different class, like let's say maybe I'm gathering on a gathering class, or I'm just running through on a higher level class, I'll actually switch to the lower level class, do the fate, and then just go on just to grab that little boost of XP. Let's go ahead and kill these ladybugs, since we need them for the hunting logs, as can be shown by the icon. So we made another level, so we can go back. Go ahead and use our defensive bonus, because these sheep are about to whip our ass. Okay, now we can go back and do the gladiator, or grab that gladiator quest, which we're not going to do that just yet. And one other thing you might be noticing is like, wow, there's a ton of marauders here. Like, a lot of people really love to make marauders, or these other specific classes. Well, the starting area is entirely dependent on the class you chose, not your race or anything like that. So when you're starting off, it's not unusual at all to see a ton of your class, or only a very few classes. In fact, that's almost certainly what you're going to see. I didn't point it out before it went away, but you see that I did get the gold there. I got my money and my XP. And now that we've done our fate, we are going to head on up and grab the next story quest. Oh, that's right. I need to kill. I think this is the last ladybug. I almost forgot about them. How could I? Now, what does this skill do again? Skull Sunder, lives an attack with a potency of 100. Increased enmity, combo action, heavy swing. It does 200 potency. So I can use this normally. I can use the Sunder skill normally. However, it will only do 100 potency. If I skill chain it with heavy swing, it does 200 potency, or twice what it normally would do. Obviously, that is what you're going to want to do in the vast majority of situations. But because it gives enmity, there very well may be times that you want to use that right off the bat if you're being the tank, which I don't know if marauders can really tank by themselves until you get before you become a warrior. But again, warrior being the job. You also don't have to loot, you auto loot, which thank God. That's one thing that I'm glad that they did. Okay, again, I'm killing these because they are in my hunting log. And I like getting those as fast as possible just to get that nice XP boost. One thing I will also consider doing, I experimented a little bit with this in the beta, but remember how I was talking about previously, you can make a new class. Like, I could become, do all these quests and become a level 15 marauder. But if I switch to level 1 conjurer, my quests don't reset. Oh, and I just started a chain, so I definitely want to kill as many enemies as I can within the 75 seconds I have left. But as I was saying about the classes, your quests don't reset. So what I consider doing is, we'll go ahead and kill these, I guess, since they're here and they're close. But leaving some of the, like, don't just do the story quests and the gladiator quests, but the other side quests, if possible, start leaving those. Don't do those. Sweet, got another ability. So that way I can come back with a second class and start doing those quests and get easier XP, because otherwise I have to do leave quests or just rely on faith or grinding. And I'll talk about leave quests later on. And that's kind of boring, so might as well get the quests XP if possible, because you will start out leveling the quests. They'll start becoming pretty low level. Oh, this is not going to be in time for the chain. We did pretty good on that chain, sort of. Up to 25% bonus XP. And we'll see what our extra ability is. Actually, we'll check it now. Fracture. Delivers an attack with a potency of 100. Additional effect. Damage over time. Potency 20. Duration 18 seconds. So, probably want to start with a Fracture and then move into your regular combo. Though, these mobs die pretty quick, so I don't know how necessary that's going to be. Let's see. You can also hover over these enemies. It'll tell you where to find them, which is awesome, by the way. That way you don't have to look all over the place, or let's be more realistic, look it up on Google or some other, or use Google to find out where they spawn. So I'm going to pop over here real quick, see if I can find another one of these bee clouds. Here's one. It's going to just about to check the map, but there's one. It's level 5, and I'm level 5. We might even get a combo chain started. We'll see. And of course, I forgot to start with bone break, which I don't know how you bone break a swarm of bees, but hey, video game logic, don't question it. I'm seeing a bunch of leaves and shit flying everywhere. It's bone break. Oh, we've got a fracture somehow. One of the bees has a fracture, and it affects the entire cloud. That, or you're such a badass, you give a bone fracture to every bee. Which I guess first you have to genetically engineer them so that they have bones, and then break it. That's pretty cruel. But dedicated, though. Want to genetically engineer bees just so you can break their bones. One thing about Sprint, I think I mentioned before, but not sure. It uses up all your TP or your MP mana points. So you generally don't want to hit Sprint and then immediately get into combat. The TP comes back pretty quick, and TP is definitely not toilet paper. I feel pretty certain of that. Now there is an Aether Crystal here we'll want to attune to. And you can set 3 of these shards as home points. Go ahead and do it for here. I'm trying to find that questing PC. And you can actually travel to any of your home, like any of your 3 home points, but you can only, teleport learned. We're going to set as a register as a favored destination. So now I have 2 favorites. I think the one in town automatically is favored. I hit double check, but you can have 3 favored aetherites, and then you can travel to any of the 3, I believe. But it costs money, which is totally fine by me. I would just rather have the faster travel, and I'm willing to pay a little money for it. There's also chocobos that work kind of like griffins or flight masters in World of Warcraft and a lot of other games, where you have to find the location first, and then then you can travel between them. But there's not very many of them, at least not that I've found so far. So this is a main quest, so we'll go ahead and read this. Ah, you must be the adventurer Baderon promised to send along. Malachi Torsad, wasn't it? You honored his words, so that's a good start. I'm Staelwyn, the old bastard, as Baderon likely described me, and this here is my humble orchard. A good number of the lads and lasses working here once terrorized the high seas. And if you're wondering why I employ these scrags, well, they used to crew my pirate ship. But the calamity did for our ship, like it did so many others, and I was sore wounded into the bargain. Wow, you talk weird. I had to feed myself and my crew somehow, and Admiral Merrilby's initiative to get us landlocked buccaneers work in the field seemed too fine an offer to refuse. Yes. Oh, somebody's coming out. Hey! Hey, sailors! You work in them fields? Well, it turns out you can take the pirate away from the sea, but you can't take the sea away from the pirate. A lot of my blokes just never took to tending the soil, you see. And unfortunately, the botanists I called in to train them have been wringing their hands in black despair. Why's it gotta be black? With so much work piling up, I need a tougher soul like you to step in and help where it's needed. Okie dokie. We will choose the good shoes. Quest complete. Here's some shoes. Oh, and everybody freaks out. So I was going to show you another way to get into the armory. You can also pull up your character log with C on the keyboard and press the slot that you want to equip, and then double click, or just drag and drop. Double clicking would be too much. Let's see, you got the hands. I didn't try to change it out. Let me get something else too, I thought. Yeah, oh, that's right, shoes. Equip. And I think that's all. Marauders and warriors do not use shield. There's a Ring of Fortune. CP plus 8, that's a crafting thing. We'll talk about that later. And that's going to do it. We're starting to get equipped now, slightly. at low levels. I have a mind to set you a task, Corsad. But before I do, I need to be sure you're properly kitted out. I thought I said kittened out at first. Pirates don't care to parley with dandies, you understand. It might well be that the ones here have traded in their cutlasses for coulters, but they still rogues at heart. I know a solid set of gear when I see it. Come back when you think you're more suitably equipped. Alright, every area has this quest, and every area I've seen is kind of a pain in the ass, because there's always one piece of gear that I can't find to get past him. The good news is that we won't have to be reading too much more quest text other than the class quest stuff. And class quests are only like every 5 levels, I think. So, alright. Let's see, harvest oranges. Where is that at? Because I'm thinking I might, do these quests and then head back to town, start doing the Marauder. Find out what the new Marauder quest line is, and then head to that other area, because I still have that one quest to slay the Arrelli. I probably should do that now that it's low level. Or I could do what I was talking about before and not do it at all until I switch to another class. Oh. Yeah, a lot of times when you harvest stuff, it will spawn enemies. Now, one thing I don't get is enemies often have a letter next to their name, like this is J. I have no idea what that is. I think it's supposed to be some kind of targeting mechanism. So if something has, like if there's 3 enemies and they're labeled ABC, if I hit A, it targets the A enemy. If I hit B, it targets the B. But I've tried variations of that and it did not work. So I guess we didn't get a B that time. Luckily for the guy on the ladder, that could have been bad for him. So yeah, I don't know what those letters are, and it doesn't really explain what they are. At least nowhere in game that I've seen. There's probably somewhere. Oh no, a large wasp. Let's break its bones. And again, as you can see, if the dude actually helped me kill this for some reason, then I would still get all the... Well, we would split... Well, we don't split the XP. We both get full XP. So that's good. More MMOs need to do that. Do things the Guild Wars 2 way. Speak with something, that's somebody else. The shovel is up there. The inspection thing I'm not going to do for a while. So the only thing we can really do right now is the orange. Or grabbing the oranges. Then we can go back up here and find the shovel that he's talking about. Find out what the hell is going on with that shovel. Yeah, I'm really trying to decide how to do this LP, because I don't know if I really want to record the whole thing. Look at those luscious, luscious, brimming with texture. Nectar, they could drop any second. Yes, I know, I went and grabbed some. Getting a little sensual about oranges, though. It's creeping me out. Alright, it's not a main quest. Skipping right through whatever it is he's saying. Gave us some drink, too. Orange juice. Food is really nice in that it gives you stats and it gives you XP bonuses, which obviously you will want to take advantage of. Oh, he actually has another quest. Before I run off. Not paying any damn attention. Oh, I had a chain going too. Whoops. Oh well. Not the end of the world. We'll have many, 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 many more chains. There's also a chocobo here I can see from looking at the mini-map. So we can't ride them yet, but I think that we can still register as having been here. Not sure. Yeah, you can't hire chocobos until level 10, which honestly is just seems to be an incredibly arbitrary restriction. Like, why not? Why can't I just get one now? But whatever. They seem like they tried too hard to hide things from new players that really didn't need to be hidden. For example, like I can't get to other towns without serious headache. It takes like, you have to finish the level 15 quest before you can get on the airship. It's, again, pretty stupid. It's like, why? It's like, well, don't want to overwhelm new players. It's like, well, I mean, if your players are getting confused because they can hop on an airship and fly somewhere else, then Your play race is pretty goddamn stupid. Which, you know. I realize that's probably also accurate, but